As recent games continue to get progressively larger and more elaborate, the desire for more compact and linear titles continues to grow among players. Luckily, there isn't a shortage of such games, but then another problem arises. Which games should you play? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Welcome to HotFix Gaming. I'm Joy. These are the 10 best linear single-player games that you must try. So, let's get started. Number 10. Metro Last Light. We don't get too many single-player narrative-driven first-person shooters these days, so the value of 4A Games' Metro series can't be overstated. And though it made a successful transition to a semi-open world formula with Exodus, it's arguable that its linear style remains unmatched in several ways. Metro Last Light, for instance, is an unforgettable game, one that stands out as one of the genre's best offerings to this day. From its incredible sense of place and atmosphere to the sheer dread that its claustrophobic design elicits, there's plenty to love about the 2013 shooter. The story follows directly after the Metro 2033 game, and it really fills the gap between 2033 and 2035 nicely. Overall, this title is definitely an improvement over 2033. The levels are bigger, there's generally more variety with stronger emphasis on both stealth and exploration. The throwing knife is overpowered as far as stealth goes, and the weapons are just as good as before. The game also features more good set pieces with nice mutant bosses that bring variety to the game. And last but not least, it can be played even on current-gen consoles. Number 9. Pokémon Legends Arceus. The game shows us a different time in the history of Pokémon and shakes up the formula by putting us in the Survey Corps. Instead of setting out to earn badges, you're instead tasked with putting together the very first Pokédex and researching all of the critters that roam out in the wild. Set in the Hisui region, which will soon become known as Sinnoh, you get to catch Pokémon in open areas dotted around the map. With a satisfying sense of progression, some new region-specific Pokémon, and a chance to see a new side to the lore, Pokémon Legends Arceus feels like a welcome breath of fresh air from the long-running series. And honestly, it's probably the best Pokémon game in recent years. I mean, that's just my opinion, but it's the right opinion. Number 8. Plague Tale. Given the size of the teams that usually work on cinematic, story-driven, third-person action-adventure games, it really is a wonder that a team as small as Asobo Studio could produce games such as Innocence and Requiem. A Plague Tale is a series inextricably tied to the Plague, the Black Death, which ravaged Europe in the 14th century and apparently killed as many as 200 million people. It was the plague that was carried infamously by rats, and so it is that A Plague Tale is also a series about rats, wonderfully and gruesomely so. More specifically, it's a series about a young boy called Hugo and his sister, Amicia. As Amicia, you need to do anything you can to protect your little brother from the people who are trying to get their hands on him. I can't really say why Hugo is hunted down like that because it might spoil the game for you. All you have to do is trust me that it's a good choice and see for yourself what the story's all about. A Plague Tale has also sparked a recent excitement over a potential third installment. According to developer Asobo Studio, they have a new collaboration with publisher Focus Entertainment, and it said that the two are looking to extend the productive collaboration that led to the A Plague Tale franchise. Number 7. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is perhaps not what you'd expect to see on a list of linear video games if you've just played the original Titanfall game. The first game in the series was only available in multiplayer, but the second game's single-player campaign offers players a fantastic opportunity to enter a fully realized world and play through a scenario that's remarkably similar to a very traditional first-person shooter, though in this case, that shooter also includes some fantastic mech combat. But Titanfall 2 isn't simply a game for shooter enthusiasts. It also has a surprisingly complex and moving tale that gains from the game's more constrained setting. In fact, a lot of the game's mechanics operate because players are supposed to advance continually. This game might be the best option for you if you're seeking a fantastic balance of action and narrative. Number 6. Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 is an unlikely sequel to a cult classic that was released in 2005, funded by fans in 2015, and published in 2021. This game is what you get when a talented team has no choice but to go all in on the hand it's been dealt by the house. And wow, was this vision of a sequel worth the decade-and-a-half wait? Psychonauts 2's story takes players on another psychic adventure centered around Rasputin Aquato, a kid set on becoming a member of the legendary Psychonauts. Raz's mission in the newest game is to uncover a mole within the Psychonauts and solve the mysteries of the nefarious Maligula, a psychic with terrible powers that her followers are trying to bring back to life. He also has to deal with the surprise appearance of his circus-centered family, with one particular member playing into his adventures more than he could ever expect. And if you're enjoying this video so far, let us know by hitting that like button. Number 5. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Kena, Bridge of Spirits sketches out its world before throwing you right into its midst. A beautiful forest, and you, Kena, a spirit guide. You know how it goes. Spirits are mostly happy enough to go to their final resting place, though a few are not, bound to the forest by their regrets. It's Kena's role to find them, give them a good whacking, and then help them move on. Kena also gets a little bit of help from some really cute creatures which are called Rot. They appear as small creatures with black fur and large eyes and help maintain the balance by decomposing dead and rotting elements. Whenever Kena finds little rock creatures, they're happy to join her to aid with combat and various puzzles. This is a beautiful looking game, no doubt. After all, Kena was made by the animation studio behind the superb Majora's Mask fan short film. With its Pixar-like characters and beyond stunning animation, Kena Bridge of Spirits is as charming as it is dark, with plenty of surprises that will not only keep you enthralled for hours, but also captivate your heart. Number 4. The Uncharted series. When it comes to cinematic third-person action-adventure games, Uncharted remains the blueprint for the industry at large. A rollercoaster ride from its first second to its last, Naughty Dog's masterpieces delivered a glut of masterfully crafted set pieces and action sequences, and delivered them with the most perfect pacing imaginable. The series has thankfully made the jump to PS5 and PC, where it can shine even brighter, but the core appeal of the series was never its often industry-leading graphics, dazzling as they are. Uncharted is about adventure, and it does it better than almost anyone else. Uncharted 4 is actually the only game in the series that can rouse floods of tears, with the, grounded in historical text mind you, story of Henry Avery and Thomas Tew running in tandem with two instinctively adventurous brothers reconciling their tortured past. Number 3. Gears of War 3. The Gears of War trilogy is an amazing action-packed adventure that I think every gamer should experience at least once in their lifetime. While there is a lot of shooting and monsters, they're called Locust, there's also an incredible story behind all the pew-pew and explosions. Things haven't been good for the Gears since the first cutscene of the series, and this time round, the human race is really on the ropes. Having sacrificed their last civilized holdout in a desperate bid to destroy the Locust, they now cling to survival in isolated forts and on ships, teetering on the verge of annihilation. Building on the savage shootouts and merciless melee of its predecessors, Gears of War 3 hones the series' signature action to a wickedly sharp edge. It's an exhilarating, emotional, and thoroughly satisfying finale for the series, and it makes Gears of War 3 one of the best shooters of the Xbox 360 days. Don't worry though, the trilogy has since been remastered into the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which can be played on current-gen consoles too. While spin-offs and other games in the Gears franchise have released since then, there's nothing that can really measure up to the story of Gears of War 3. This is something that you definitely do not want to miss. Number 2. Dead Space Remake. The original 2008 game is a modern classic that holds up exceedingly well by today's standards. There's honestly very little that feels dated about its design. Remaking Dead Space in 2023 might not have felt especially necessary, but EA Motive has crafted a game that manages to improve upon its excellent progenitor in a variety of ways. Dead Space follows engineer Isaac Clarke, who's sent to the USG Ishimura to investigate a distress signal. The humongous planet Cracker has been having issues with its communication equipment, and definitely hasn't been invaded by a hostile alien virus that's made all of its crew long and dribbly. Oh no, that's actually exactly what happened. Trapped on board, Isaac must bounce from one end of the Ishimura to the other like a gore-flecked pinball, firefighting an increasing array of mechanical issues, all while battling hordes of stabby baddies. But probably the most striking change in the remake is the fact that Isaac now speaks. And while Isaac may chat, he isn't chatty. He doesn't provide hints for puzzle solutions or bark about where he should head to next. Most of what he says is made up of lines spoken by other characters in that first game. However, the biggest difference between the original and the remake is, obviously, the visuals, and Dead Space looks absolutely phenomenal. And number 1. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Capcom's initial announcement of Resident Evil 2 Remake was naturally met with some skepticism at first, but we players couldn't have been more off base. The studio's loving recreation of its 90s survival horror classic is the perfect example of how to modernize an old game while staying true to its roots. Leon's harrowing gauntlet through the Raccoon City Police Department is one of the scariest, toughest campaigns you'll ever have the joy of running through, completely accessible to series newcomers, yet still littered with Easter eggs to delight the Resident Evil faithful fans. This is how horror is done, and it proves just how much life there is in Capcom's seminal franchise yet. But what other linear games do you like? Let me know your favorites in the comments section below. And if you enjoy gaming content and want more, be sure to check out the 2 videos linked on screen.